Hey, what's up all you lovely learners out there in learning land? Tyler from 10thumbspro.com coming at you with another ukulele tutorial like we do every single Wednesday and Saturday. Today we're going to break down a full-blown blues solo 12-bar style in the key of E, but not just that, it's a slide solo. If this is your first time playing with slide, welcome to the club. You should probably check out our slide playlist so you can get to know the style a little more. Links in the note. There's also a link in the notes to printable tabs for this tutorial and all our tutorials by becoming a Patreon. Links below as well. Skype lessons one-on-one as well if you are interested. But if you came just because you want to get bluesy, old school Delta slide style, that's cool. I dig it and I respect it. Why don't you go ahead and grab your ukulele. Slide, brain, and attention span. Once you have those four things, go ahead and follow me on in and let's break this lesson down together. Let's do it. Okay, so we're in standard tuning, 12-bar blues solo. You should, if you're going to be taking this leap, at least know what the progression of a 12-bar blues is. You got your first 4 bars are E7. Your next 4 bars 5 and 6 are A7, 7 and 8 are E7. Then your turnaround typically will be bar 9 B7, 10 will be A7, 11 E7, and then 12 will either be B7 or E7. For this particular circle, it will be B7. So if you're playing with your friends and they strum those chords, you can play this solo right over it and it's going to sound perfect, okay? So, slide, I like it on my ring finger. Some people play it on their pinky, some on their middle finger. Every note we're playing in the solo will be with the slide, so whatever finger you're comfortable with will work because you don't have to do anything with your off fingers. It's going to be all slide. Okay, so let's play the first 2 measures. They sound like this. Very, very cool. We're starting off and we're sliding up to the 7th fret here. Remember, you want your slide to be directly over the fret. You don't want it to be behind it because the slide is going to play the frequency exactly where it's at. Unlike when you're fretting, you're actually playing behind the note. Here, you want to be right on top. Index finger, pluck the E string. 1. Middle on the offbeat will pluck the A string. 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, and I'm sliding up 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 4th beat, 5th fret of the A string, and then on the 1, I'm sliding back to the 7th fret of the E string. So we get 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1. And then vibrato here is a huge part of this style. While you're on that note, give it a little shaky shake, a little wiggly wiggly, a little boogity boogity, a little bit of hippity hop, a little bit of dangity dank. All right. So those 2 measures, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Next 2 measures. Okay, so you're going to notice these next 2 measures are exactly the same as the first. What we're doing here is we're creating something called a motif. Now, we're going to be modifying this motif slightly further on, but it gives your ear something to latch onto that it's familiar with, that you can hum along to, and it really, really helps kind of enter the mind of the listener and get in the brain. So bars 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1. I played an extra note there. Let me try that again. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, now we are on to A7. Well, real quick, the phrasing, I'm targeting a B note and an E note, and then I'm also playing this D note. Now, all 3 of these notes come from the E minor pentatonic scale, but they're also all in the E7 chord. So I'm looking at the scale and I'm identifying chord tones within the scale to make this particular phrase sound really nice over the E7. Now that we get to the A7, I'm still staying in the E minor pentatonic or the E blues scale, but I'm going to be targeting some different notes. I'm going to play something that sounds like this. All right, a little bit of difference, but also very cool. Starting on the 3rd fret of the E and sliding up to the 5th fret. This is an A note, A7 chord. That's not an accident. And I'm going to do a triplet. Tripola. Play it 3 times on one beat. Tripola. And the 2nd beat, I'm going to come down and grab the G note here. 3rd fret of the E string. A7 also has a G note. Still in the scale, but really, really targeting these chord tones to make it stick to the harmony a little stronger. So we get triple a 3. Right after that 3rd fret, I'm sliding back up to the 5th fret. triple, 2, and triple, 2, and 3, 4. A little slower. Triple, 2, and 3, 4. The next phrase, I'm going to, now the A chord, the A7 has an E note as well, and the E note is also the tonal center or the tonic of this particular solo. So what I'm going to do here is do that same riff, triple, boom, boom, but this time instead of going back to the A, I'm going to play the open E string. That accomplishes a couple things. We're still in the scale, we still hit another chord tone, but we're also voice leading, or we're pushing the solo back towards the E because we're going back to the E7 chord. So you get triple, boom, boom. You put those two phrases together nice and slow. You get triple, 1, oops, triple, 2, and 3, 4, triple, 2, and 3, 4. And now we are in measure 7 and back over our E7 chord. Okay, so now we're in bar 7. We're back over our E7 chord, and we're going to return to our motif, but we're going to slightly modify it. By slightly modifying these patterns, you give them something that's familiar, but also new and exciting. It's a really powerful technique in your solos. We're going to come up and we're going to play the 7th fret, 1, A, back on the A string on the offbeat, 1 and 2 and 3. So you can see we're playing the same notes, but a slight variation. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Really slow. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. All right, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. You can start that third beat here on the 5th fret and slide into the note. That sounds really good with this style of play. Okay, and then we're in the 8th fret, and now we're gonna just blow the motif out of the water and give this some powerfulness and do this. Love that. One more time. This here on the 12th fret of the E is also an E note, a whole octave above the open E string. And we're gonna slide. You can slide from anywhere you want. When you get there, you're gonna do a triplet. 1 pola, again, 2 pola, and then you're gonna slide off. 1 pola, 2 pola, 3, 4. 1 pola, 2 pola, 3, 4. Oops. 1 pola, 2 pola, 3, 4. So we put that together with our other phrase. We get 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 pola, 2 pola, 3, 4. One more time, a little slower. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 pola, 2 pola, 3, 4. Up to speed. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 pola, 2 pola, 3, 4. Bam, that's tasty. All right. So we made it through the bulk. Now we're at the turnaround, the last 4 measures. Okay, so bars 9 and 10 are over a B7 and an A7. We're going to stay within the scale, but we're going to target chord tones again. Now you've noticed so far in this solo, we've used only chord tones over every single chord. That is not a rule. You definitely do not have to follow that. In fact, too much of that can be a little boring. We wanted to kind of play it a little safer because I know a lot of you are new to both soloing and playing with the slide. So I didn't want to make it too difficult for you. But note that chord tones are really good, but you also want to experiment and get out of there to create a little more tension and release to make your solos more interesting. Slide, we're going to slide up, 7th fret of the E string, 5th fret, 7, 7. So you get 1 and 2, 3. 1 and 2, 3. Okay? 1 and 2, 3. 7, 5, 7, 7. 1 and 2, 3. B note, A note, B note, B note. Over the B chord, that's root, flat 7th, root, root. All right. Now we're going to move down 2 frets and repeat the same thing, which is going to sound great over your A chord. It's going to go root, 7, root, root. 1 and 2, 3. We put those two together. We get 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. Bars 9 and 10. We just need 11 and 12, and we got the whole solo. Okay, so this is an interesting one. We're going to slide up to the 7th fret on the first beat, and then play it open on the off. We're going to go 1 and 2. 2 on the 2nd fret of the A string. 1 and 2. Now here's an example too. We're playing the A note over the E7. That's the first time we're using a note in the scale that's not an actual chord tone. See? Just like I said earlier, a little bit of interest. 1 and 2. Play this on the 3rd beat. 3 on the 2nd fret of the A string again. And then you're going to gradually slide up so it finishes on the 4th beat up here on the 7th fret. You can either 3, 4. You can either get there and you can play it again when you get there, or you can just let it ring. So you're going to get 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. One more time. 1 and 2, 3, 4. That was a little rushed. Let's do it super slow one time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now, if it's super slow, the sustain, you're going to have to hit it again. If it's a little quicker, you can get away with that long slide. 1 and 2, 3, 4. We just need our 12th bar and we got the whole solo. Last one, classic turnaround lick, open E string, 1. Then we're going to slide 5 to 7 on the 2nd beat, 2, down to 5, and 6, 3, up to 7, and. Then you would let that ring for the whole 4th beat. So it's like 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. B note, A note, B flat, which is the flat 5th, which is the only difference between your minor pentatonic and your blues scale is this note. This is the blues note, or the devil's 5th as it's known. Flat 5th. 1, 2, and 3, 4. Oops. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Let's play bars 11 and 12 together. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. One more time without counting. Very cool stuff, all right? So those are all the pieces. I would practice them exactly like we did individually like that, and now we're gonna try to play it with a whole jam track. Let's go ahead and break it down. Cool, so that's it. Thank you so much for watching to the very end. Here at 10thumbspro.com, we appreciate you. You make this go round, especially you Patreons. Thank you so much for your added support. Everything you put into this, we put right back into the project. All right, remember to subscribe. See you next Wednesday or Saturday for our ukulele tutorials. Monday for our guitar tutorials. Life is good. Keep on rocking and rolling. Keep it slide. Think about getting a 10 Thumbs t-shirt. Think about becoming a Patreon. Cheaper than a cheap cheeseburger. And until next time, friends, have a lovely day. Take care.